Hi friends, I'm Penny Hunt and this is Penny Heart to Heart Day 47. 47 days I've been in my home, except for a couple of little quick trips to the grocery store just to pick up at the curb. 47 days I've been making these videos for you, and I've been sharing tips and techniques and ideas of how to get through this time that we're all in this together. I know many of you are home for 47 days like me, maybe longer, maybe not quite as long. And so it's been a really unique experience for us all to be doing something like this that's happening in the world to all of us at the same time. And it's been a very interesting experience for me to do a video every day and share my ideas and my thoughts with you. Many of them are tips from my book, which, by the way, if you're interested in winning a free book, all you have to do is in the comment line below this video write, "I'd love your book," and you'll be in this week's drawing. I have been doing this for 6 weeks now and had 6 drawings. Last week I gave away 2 books because I had so many people in the pot to draw from that I drew out 2 and mailed 2 books to people. So if you're interested in having one of my books, it's a great joy for me to ship those off and give away my books. I want to talk to you today about something I wrote about some time ago. And as always, if I talk about something that I have actually had done a writing about, I link it to you in the text by this video so that you can go back and read that if you're interested in learning a little bit more about what I have to say today and read the original writing. I wrote a piece called "The Space Between," and I explained how I felt, what I felt the space between was, and it came from an experience in Hawaii. I love to go to Hawaii. Been there several times, and there's a event, a phenomena in Hawaii that happens at sunset. And it is right when the sun goes down below the horizon and touches that crease right there between the landscape and the sky. And it's a split second when the sun goes down and it makes this green, emerald green, bright flash. And that's what they call it, the green flash. I had been to Hawaii many times. I had seen many sunsets, always looking and hoping that I would see the green flash. It takes just the right connection of everything in nature happening. The clouds have to be clear. Everything has to line up right in order for you to be able to see the green flash at sunset in Hawaii. It is an amazing thing. I have seen it a couple times now, and it is fascinating. You can't blink. If you blink, you will miss it. And so it is that quick. And so I started thinking about that and how if you miss that space between day and night, where the green flash hits, if you miss that space between, you miss it. And I began thinking about how many times in life we have that space between. The space between when you hear the phone ring and you pick it up and say hello, that second where you make a decision, if you have an idea and you either take action on it or not, that space between so many things that can, after the fact, cause regret. We either regret that we did what we did in that space between the thought and the decision, or we regret that we didn't take action in that space between what we were thinking or the opportunity and the action to move on it. How many of you have had an opportunity that came by just like this, and in that second you had to move or you missed it? And maybe you did and it turned out great, or maybe you didn't and you regretted that you didn't take action. It's that space between that happens to us so many times in life that we have to make those kind of decisions. And how we process that space between in our mind and how we make the decision can change so much about our life. Many times we look back on our life and kind of connect the dots of how we got to be where we are today. And we look at those certain circumstances and we think, oh, if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't be here today. Maybe that's good or bad. Or since I did do that, this is how I'm here today. And so there's so many times that in life it's just that split-second decision, that action that we took, that space between whether we could have done this or that changed everything. Why am I talking about this today? Because I feel like we are in a big, big space between. I've been coming to you for 47 days talking about this situation with the coronavirus and how it's affected our world and our country and our community and us personally and our families. And I think we are all in a big space. Now, what I've talked about so far is split-second spaces between, that flash of green in Hawaii, that time when the phone rings and we either pick it up or we don't. But this is a bigger space, but it is a space between. I can remember the very first case of coronavirus that was reported in my state of Wyoming. I can remember when it's happened in China and it was a vague kind of thing on the news, and then it moved to Italy, and it became very important to my husband and I when it moved to Italy because we were planning a trip to Italy this year that's not going to happen. And so we started listening, well, what's going on in Italy? Is that someplace that we should really be going? So we became very interested in it then. Some people didn't really hear about it, know much about it, till it came to our country and started in New York and Washington area. And then we became very interested. And then we started watching the numbers. So that was the beginning. Somewhere out here, there's going to be some form of ending. Maybe it will never end completely all the way, but there will be some form of saying that everybody can go back to work and things are going to be the new normal, as everybody says. And some of that's happening now. I know in my state they opened up a few things that's going to start opening on the 1st of May. Many states are doing that, opening up opportunities for some businesses to open in a different way. And so things are changing, but we are still in this space between when we first heard the words COVID-19 and where it's going to land over here. We don't know where that's going to be, but we are in this space between. And I think we've been here for a while in this space of uncertainty and not knowing what the end is going to look like or when it's going to come or if there will be an end. We don't know. It's this space between the beginning and the end, the knowing and the unknowing of what's to come. We are in this space between. It's kind of like we're swinging on a trapeze. When you let go of you jump off the edge and you're swinging on the trapeze, but you haven't grabbed the other side. We're swinging, and we don't know how long we're going to be here swinging in this mid-space, in this middle ground, this space between. So I think just like the green flash and the space between that lasts a split second, whether you're going to answer that phone call or not, I think this space is so important and may never, ever happen again. You see, that's what I wrote about. The space between, in that split second, you may not get another opportunity to answer that same phone call, to respond in the same way, to take the same kind of action. You may not get that opportunity again. And I feel like we may not have this space again. For good and bad and what all of the different things that has caused us to have this space that we're in right now. This may not happen again. I remember one of the first videos I said, let's start making a list of what's good about this. And I know at the time nobody thought anything was good about the coronavirus and being sent home to work from home or being laid off from your job. But there has been things that have been good about this. This extra time, this gift of time that we have been given that we've never had before. And so this space between the end and the beginning, the space between, well, as we swing on this trapeze, how are you using this? We don't know how much more time we have in this space between, but how you use this gift of time is a big deal. Because I think once we land on the other side, we're going to look back and we're going to either have regret or be content with how we use the space between. Because I know many people had a whole list of cleaning out closets and doing all these grand things. And if you accomplished all that, you might look back at this with, I really got a lot done and I will never have that kind of time again. Maybe it was family time and fun things that you did. Maybe you caught up on rest. You really needed a rest and a break from work. And so you'll look back and think that was great. Or will you look back at this space of time, this gift that we've been given, and say, I wished I would have. I wished I would have reached out to more people. I wish I would have accomplished more. I wish I would have done this. I don't know. But I'm just bringing to your attention that we are in this space between the beginning and what the new end is going to look like. We are on this trapeze. We have this gift that we may never get again. We may never be in a situation like this again. I really kind of hope we're not. But right now we're in it. And so I want you to think about the space between and how you're going to use this opportunity, this forever, for however long we have left. You know, we may still have a substantial amount of time of this. We may be have our country opened up in the near future, and you know, things will be back to work and people will be back to their jobs, and things may look very different in a few weeks. I just want you to think about the space between. Again, if you want to read the writing, it's the link is there so you can go back and read it. Day 47. I have been loading these on YouTube, so I have them all in a playlist on YouTube. It's Pennie Heart to Heart. We're in this together. That's the playlist if you want to see all of these videos. Again, if you're interested in my book, you just need to write, "I'd love your book" in the comment line, and you'll be in this week's drawing. And I'll be sending out another book next week. I thank you for your time. I know it's hard to remember. Keep a little buzz in your ear that it's 3 p.m. Mountain Time that I'm here. This has been day 47. I'm Pennie Hunt. This has been Pennie Heart to Heart. Thanks for watching.